deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant? Who am I to be gorgeous, talented, and famous? Actually, who are you not to be? Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We're all meant to shine as children do. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. As we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others.
I am Sandton. Hey, hey, Sandton. Hey, hey, Sandton. Hey, hey, Sandton. Hey, hey. Somebody so Jabula, oh yeah, oh, oh, oh. If I am Sandton, if I am Sandton, Sandton, if I am Sandton, Sandton, if I am Sandton, oh, 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 Sandton, somebody so Jabula, somebody so Jabula, oh yeah.
weapon which you can use to change the world.
If I am Zanzi, if I am Zanzi, if I am Zanzi, Zanzi, somebody so Jabula, somebody so Jabula. Oh yeah, whoa, whoa, whoa. If I am Zanzi.
Though I know I could be wrong, there seems to be.
Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bob Mabena. I'm here on behalf or at the behest of SSP, representing Kaya FM, my 6 children, and the children of which were written this morning on the front page of the Sowetan. I'm quite sure you've all seen it, how the ablution facilities are at most of our schools. The positive thing about tonight is that assembled here at this place is people who are prepared to raise their hands, stand up and be counted to alleviate the situation that's happening across our country. And for that, for you turning up tonight, I'd like you to please give yourselves a round of applause. Now, for those of you who've seen me do this before, the house rules haven't really changed. As you walk outside, the bathrooms are to your left, and there are some, should there be enough beer, and the queue is too long. There are other ablution facilities on the right. Fortunately, those facilities are better than what we have at some of our Gauteng schools. You do have pledge forms on your tables. I will be walking around and encouraging you. I've seen Mos Mashishi somewhere there. I've seen quite a few faces. I will be bugging from time to time to just get on there and fill it up and make sure that we do have as much money as we had planned to raise tonight. After all, it is what that is about tonight, to make sure that enough money is raised for this organization to be able to go through with what they plan to do. Now, house rules. If you do have a cell phone like everybody else, please put it on silent. Should it ring loudly, you will be forced to pay about 100,000 Rand to SSP. The usual applies still. To the black people, you see the centerpiece, it's not to be taken home, please. Mafikizolo will be coming through to perform, so to the white people, should you feel the need to feel the groove and dance, please do dance to the music and not the lyrics. To the Indian people, the food has already been paid for, no need to negotiate. To the colored people, the knives are only for eating. And nothing else. The bar arrangements are as follows. One on the table has been sponsored by one of the finest winemakers. I was just having a chat with Mark Mdela from Kaya FM. Mr. Forrester, Ken Forrester, not from the Bold and the Beautiful. Ken Forrester has just introduced a wonderful Chenin Blanc. I would never put my lips on a Chenin, but Ken Forrester has done justice and introduced this wonderful Chenin Blanc. So he sponsored the wines on your table, and there will be a cash bar if you should you finish what you have on your tables already. And with that, I would like to, there will be a cash bar, obviously, and with that, I'd like to introduce Sibongile Khumalo, Academic Director at SSP, to the stage. Thank you.
Good evening. I'd like to start by extending a warm welcome to everyone in the room with us. Okay. We're delighted to have you join us in sharing in our celebration of 15 years of the Student Sponsorship Program. We hope that this evening you will witness the enormity of the impact that SSP has had on the lives of over 800 young South Africans. Of course, none of this would be possible without the support of our committed sponsors, the vast majority of whom are in the room with us this evening. Thank you for believing in our bold vision of creating leaders for South Africa through academic excellence. We are eternally grateful to the Barclays Africa Group, our host sponsor for this gala event, who have supported SSP for the last 8 years. We also thank Kaya FM, our media partner, as well as the Sandton Convention Centre, who have sponsored this venue. In addition, we are indebted to the host committee, who have spent so much time and effort in calling upon you, their network, to join us this evening. Tonight, you will hear heartwarming stories that are the trademark of SSP success. We invite you to enter into the spirit of celebration, to network with your fellow captains of industry, to meet some of SSP scholars and alumni, and to help us launch the next 15 years of transforming lives. Now, I'd like to introduce you to someone who's played a key role in making this gala event a reality. Stephen Van Coller, who is Chief Executive of Corporate and Investment Banking at the Barclays Africa Group. He also chairs the Citizenship and Innovation Committees across Africa and is a trustee of the ABSA Foundation Trust. Before joining Barclays, Stephen was Managing Director of Deutsche Bank in Johannesburg for 10 years. He holds a BCom honors and a higher diploma in accounting. As clear proof of his love for young people, Stephen has 6 children of his own. He enjoys running and playing golf when he has the time to, but most importantly to us tonight, is Stephen loves red wine. So much so that we'd like to see you bidding later on in our auction this evening for that barrel of Ken Forrester wine produced to your own personal taste. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Stephen Van Coller.
We share a common vision with our clients. To see Africa reach her full potential. So when they share their ambitions with us about the future, we focus on the tangible results that have a real impact. Together with our clients, we build partnerships that change the lives of millions. Because when ambitions change lives, we all prosper.
So, welcome everyone, and thanks for that introduction. If any of you were wondering, just be careful when you're not concentrating, it creeps up on you. We didn't have TVs when I was growing up. But seriously, tonight I'm very proud to be to represent Barclays as the key sponsor of this event. As part of my duties, I sit on the World Economic Forum Agenda Council for Financial Inclusion. And it's actually staggering to see how capitalism, while very successful in creating wealth, has been equally unsuccessful in redistributing it. You may know that 1% of the world own 43% of the wealth, and it's predicted by 2020 that 1% will own 50% of the wealth. Today, 8% of the world own 83% of the wealth. And in South Africa, we also know that this has been racially skewed by apartheid. No wonder the World Economic Forum's agreed #1 global issue is social inequality. Sadly, this lack of resources is vested within the youth today, and we have nearly 50% unemployed youth. As a local bank in 14 African countries, and with a scale that makes Barclays Africa both systemic in those countries to the financial systems, but also a critical cog in the economies, we are committed to making a difference and being locally relevant. We believe we can make the most impact by driving youth employability through differentiated learning programs. SSP is such a program, and including this contribution we made tonight, we we continue to contribute over the last 8 years. I had the privilege of lunching with last year's deputy head at St Stithians, who's an SSP graduate, and a proud 8 distinctions matric student who hails from Alex. The encounter made me remember Nelson Mandela's profound words. What counts as life is not that we have lived. It is what difference we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we led. Please join me tonight in making a real difference in closing the gap on inequality in this wonderful country by redistributing some of your wealth to this incredible program. Thank you very much.
Up on stage next is co-founder and CEO of Sphere Holdings and chairman of the Board of Trustees for SSP. Itumeleng walks up to stage and he will tell you exactly how he feels about this. I had the pleasure of interviewing him quite a few times, and here's a man who knows exactly what he's up to and what his destiny and his purpose is. Please put your hands together for Ntate Itumeleng Kgaboesele.
We are celebrating 15 years of our amazing organization. For 15 years, we have been helping to create future leaders of South Africa. SSP was launched in 2000 with the awarding of 25 scholarships, and today has supported over 800 scholars.
My name is Samkelo Nangu, and I am 16 years of age. I live in Sterling, East London. What I've done that I'm most proud of is basically having a focus on my academic achievement that has opened doors for me through this scholarship. And had I not had such high standards of academics, I wouldn't have qualified. My family is very proud of my success. They obviously very happy that I've came to a school that has got a very good reputation, and they're very happy that one day I'll make great success of my life.
Our 4 cornerstones of excellence, integrity, leadership, and public service have enabled us to be as successful as we have been for the past 15 years.
My name is Teresa Clarke. I'm 17 years old. I'm from Soweto. A typical school day, waking up at the crack of dawn, getting on a bus for about 2 hours, sitting in morning traffic. You can't imagine how frustrating it is. Then getting to school and being greeted with warmth by my friends and my teachers. So it's very humbling to know that so many people have faith in my abilities. I think I've been tasked with a very important job of leading a whole school. I foresee myself having graduated from med school, maybe practicing somewhere else, specializing in public health and rewriting health policies for South Africa and the world over, something that will make a tangible difference in people's lives.
To contribute whatever little that I can contribute to SSP scholars and to the future leaders of this country, I quite frankly consider it a privilege.
Our students have found wonderful success in academia, as entrepreneurs, in medicine, in law, in the corporate world, and in starting their own businesses and organizations.
Here's to the next 15 years.
Thank you. I'm extremely excited and quite frankly moved to see so many of you here tonight to join us as we celebrate the 15th anniversary of this great organization, SSP. These words deeply resonate with me. I believe in the power of education to fundamentally transform society and to change lives. If you think about it in very simple terms, education can fix the most basic of our day-to-day lives, or can enable us to fix some fairly complex problems. Unfortunately, not all kids get access to the same kind of education. There's a big gap between the education that the rich kids get and that received by the poor kids. There's a difference in the quality of the facilities, the quality of the teachers, and even the subject choices. And currently it's estimated that probably 70% of the kids in this country do not get access to adequate schooling. And so the general fix has really been three things. One, let's throw money at the problem. Let's build more classrooms. Let's get more textbooks. Or two, let's get corporates to get involved through their CSI initiatives. Or the last one being, let's set up bursary funds. But most of these bursary funds have been targeted at the tertiary level, and really not so many targeted at the primary school or high school kids. And you know what? This is all great. It is really, really great, but it's not just what we need. We need more than that. So when Teresa Clarke and Nyagaka Ongeri founded SSP just over 15 years ago, they saw a gap in the education system. They saw a gap that needs our help. Let's think about it this way. Imagine you've got a child who's extremely talented at soccer. He's talented and he's passionate about the game. He dreams of playing on the big stage. He dreams of playing Champions League football. He dreams of playing for one of the big global clubs. And if he's like my son, he dreams of playing for the mighty Arsenal. Now, some of you may argue that Arsenal is not quite a big global club, but let me remind you, 16 years in a row playing Champions League football. And I don't think that the other club that wears red and white can make claim to that track record. So let's get back to your child. So your child is extremely talented and passionate about soccer, but the other kids are not as talented at his club. So what the coach does, the coach spends time teaching the basics. The coach spends time trying to make sure that everyone is taught the same thing. Naturally, your talented child starts getting bored. He is not as challenged. And over time, your child loses interest in the sport. Now, it's not anyone's fault. It's not your child's fault. It's not the other children's fault. It's not the coach's fault. It is just the circumstances. What is really required is for your child to go to a better club, for your child to get more advanced training so that he can keep his interest in the game and that he can learn and grow. And this is where SSP comes in. We see the same problem throughout our education system. We see lots of talented kids, and in particular, black kids from low-income households who are not quite challenged in their environment. We find these kids with untapped potential. We find these kids with clear leadership skills, and we provide them with the opportunity to excel at some of the leading schools in this country. Now, I could spend time telling you about how our process works, but let me rather ask one of our graduates who's come through the program come and tell you about it. I'm very proud this evening to call upon Ayanda Nyathi, first-year student at UCT, matriculated last year at St. Stephen's. Ayanda, come and share your story with us.
Alrighty, a very good evening to you all. It's really great to be here, and thank you very much, Itu, for that very nice welcome. So basically, I was told to come through this evening, and just to give you a bit of context of where I am at this very present moment right now as my words reach your ears. 19-year-old guy, never really been to the Sandton Convention Centre. I've heard all about it. I've never been in a room full of so many influential people at the same time. And it really is something special for me, so allow me to take in this moment as I speak briefly to you. But I mean, basically I'm here to tell my story and to retell it as best as I can, and I guess all stories work really great starting from the beginning. So, I'll jump straight into it. My name's Ayanda Nyathi. I come from Alexander Township, as you may have already heard. I'm the youngest of three, with its pros and cons. And I've been born basically and raised in a family single-handedly by my mother, who's also here with me. And oh yeah, she's very special at the moment. And you know, I've got an older sister who's in her late 20s. She unfortunately had a complication soon after her birth, and she carries a speech impediment, and that's also affected her learning abilities and all of that. And I've also got an older brother who's really been, I mean, just in hindsight, very, very instrumental and very important. He just, you know, quite naturally assumed the leadership role in the family, and I think he also deserves as much credit in his absence. So that really is the context of where I come from. So I went to school in Rembrandt Park Primary School. Some of you may know it. It's just outside Alexandra in Lombardy East. In fact, a lot of people have predominantly come from Alexandra go there. So a lot of the time, it wasn't really a shift. I mean, I'd see my friends at home, and I'd go back to school, and those would be the people who I'm sitting next to in class. So it wasn't really much of a shift, I have to be honest. And that's where I actually heard about SSP. So it came to a point where, well, we were all gathered into the hall and our names were read out, and apparently these were the students who they believed, and by they I'm referring to my headmistress at the time, believed that we'd be able to take the challenge and would be able to run with it as best as we can. And that's basically how I got introduced into the program. I went and I signed up, and the recruitment process began all the way in 2008 when I was still in grade 6. And it took a whole year, just to give you perspective on how rigorous the selection process is. It took a whole year to finally get to the point where I can call myself an SSP student. And my, oh my, has that changed a whole lot of things. So here I am now on the first day, grade 8, young, not that that's changed much, very naive, that I think I also have, and very innocent. And I'm taken now from this very comfortable, very cozy, very, very normal environment, and I'm thrown into what they call the big dogs, moving from a big fish in a small pond to being supposedly a big fish. I'm starting to reconsider now that I'm here how big I really was. But being a big fish in what at the time really looked like an ocean. And so quite naturally I had a few problems. I had to adjust. I had to go through a transition of finally being able to move away from, firstly, the comfort of being at home, because I went to boarding school at St. Stithians, and also just the comfort of knowing where you are and being comfortable with the people around you. So back in primary school, I had the real privilege of being, well, you know, one of the guys who took one of the leadership roles there. And so quite naturally, everybody knew my name. I mean, every corner I'd walk in, people just, you know, and it's good for your ego at that time. And now I came to an institution where you're really not that good, because guess what? Everyone has been there. Everyone has got that badge, and everyone can tick that box. In fact, it got to a point where people forgot my name, and I had to introduce myself several times to the same people. So you can imagine, these are the sort of things that I sort of had to adjust to, the sort of things I had to take in. But the great, real privilege that I had in the midst of all of that was SSP. So as I began, it wasn't a moment of, okay, we think you can do this, you go ahead, go forth and prosper on your own. It was a matter of, we are able to identify your potential. We trust, we have confidence, but we'll still be with you throughout the whole journey. And that is very, very important, particularly because of what I've been able to do because of that help. So fast forward 5 years later, and the young boy from Alexander Township who knew nothing when he started is the deputy head boy at St. Stithians College. And over and above that, you know, amidst all the other leadership roles that I had, I also really was able, through their support, to be able to bank 8 distinctions next to my name for my final matric exams. And thank you. And all of that, I really, really have to be honest, is not something I could have done on my own. And I think I cannot say that enough because it is so important. I mean, the immediate understanding is that obviously you got to St. Stithians because of SSP, but that's where most people stop. I'm here to say, yes, I got to St. Stithians because of SSP, but I got all that I have now at St. Stithians also because of SSP. It is that important. They are that involved. And I think, I really accredit a lot of my success to them. So I guess at this stage, it's very important to also understand then, it doesn't take much for you to connect the dots. SSP is out there to change lives. That's the long and short of it. If it wasn't for SSP, who would have known what the story would be? Would I even be here? That's actually the fundamental question. And so, statistically speaking, from a low-income household, from a township, raised single-handedly by, my mother, statistically speaking, most people who come from those environments don't get the privilege of being here with what I have now. Such is the power of SSP, groundbreaking, changing norms, bringing new things and bringing potential that hasn't been unlocked and completely, what we call colloquially, changing the game, just to draw further from that soccer analogy. And that's really what it's about. And I'm really glad to be here as being one of those symbols, I guess, to reassure you of the effectiveness of SSP and all the work that they're able to do. So, what is the way forward? SSP comes, the glorified symbol, and I've really spoken quite highly of them at this stage. Now that matric is done, what do we do next? So, I've been able to be given tools to be able to carry on the flag from this point onwards. And that is also the importance of being able to have intervention at high school level. So now that I've gone to a school like St. Stithians, now that I've been in the midst of such influence and I've been surrounded by people who I've been surrounded by, I'm able to now think I can walk forward and move on by myself. And I've been able to do that. I'm currently studying my first year doing chemical engineering at the University of Cape Town. And that too, as you can imagine, is also quite a new experience. I haven't actually been there for 2 months yet. And there's still a lot of learning that goes on, but I've been able to learn a lot since I've been at St. Stithians, and I can hopefully apply that to the best of my knowledge as I move forward at the University of Cape Town. So in closing, I've said this before, but without SSP and its sponsors, things could have been very, very different. A potential which I did not see and realize was spotted, and it was unlocked. With all that help that SSP can get, that possibility for more potentials and more people can also come alive, and for their potential to be unlocked. And many others like me can be given the opportunity not only to do what I've been able to do, but to do even better. Thank you.
Thanks, Ayanda. I'm sure that you'll agree with me that this guy is going to go far in his life. I think there are endless possibilities in terms of what Ayanda can do. Once he finishes his studies at UCT, he could choose to stay in engineering, be in business, be in academia, really endless possibilities out there. But that's really not the complete story. What you've just noticed is a young guy, a young leader who is not only an inspiration to his family, but is an inspiration to his community. And that is the power of SSP. Ayanda is well on his way towards becoming one of our future leaders of this country. Now, as Ayanda has said, all of this could not have been possible without some key role players. In the first instance, the parents of our SSP kids make a huge commitment to this program. And I would like to once more acknowledge Ayanda's mother, Oisandi. Oisandi, if you could perhaps stand so that they can see you. Oisandi, thank you so much for the contribution that you've made for supporting Ayanda through his high school years, and really for inspiring him to become the young man that he is today. We've got several other parents who are here with us, and they similarly play the same role with their kids. Our amazing staff at SSP live this on a day-to-day basis, and I would love to also acknowledge them and thank them for all of the work that they do. And if you could please join me in recognizing their efforts as well. Over and above that, we've got many mentors who are here. Thank you for your contribution to the students. But even more important, to our sponsors, many of whom are also sitting here tonight. Without your financial contribution, we would not be able to do what we do. And we thank you for the contribution that you make. Now, over the years, there have also been several South Africans who've really stood out in terms of their contribution that they're making to changing our country, in terms of the contribution that they're making towards SSP and to education in general. And tonight, we would like to take some time to recognize them and to honor them for their awards, for the efforts that they've made. So Bob, please come back on stage and let's get the awards on the road.
Well, there's hope yet. I mean, I look at a guy like Ayanda. Before you meet someone like Ayanda, you'd never think we could have a black James Bond. There's hope. Because I was thinking, you know, it's quite strange. You really think of black James Bond, it would really be something foreign to fathom to start with, because, you know, Ita. Get it now, James. 007. We're not going to have any of that with the likes of Ayanda. Please give that young man another round of applause. Now, by hook or crook, you know, for better or for worse, you have to know the next person who's going to come on stage. Chancellor of the Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University and Chairman of Curo and Famous Brands, to give the first award. This woman is the reason why everything went yellow at some stage in Sandton. Going further, she's done very well as well. Please help Santi Bota come up on stage, please.
Thank you very much, Bob. Well, after everything that's been said and done, Itumeleng, in terms of your leadership and everything you've said here tonight, and as well as Ayanda, the example that's been said, I would like to thank you, first of all, for the privilege for me to have served on your SSP host committee. And a small request to some of the corporates from me is to say, if you invest 20 or 30% of your marketing budget into education instead of sports sponsorship, the impact it will have on the future of this country will be enormous. So it's a privilege for me tonight to recognize Tshepang Mogotsi. He's a consultant at Accenture. He's ex-alumni. He's currently chairman of the SSP Alumni Committee. And he's a great example of really the quality of leaders in terms of the future that SSP produces. He's now in the corporate sector, and William Mzimba, who's also here this evening from Accenture. I serve on his advisory board at Accenture, and I know the quality of people in Accenture, and Tshepang is one of them. So I think there's a video this evening to really sort of showcase Tshepang and his background.
Receiving this form of recognition from SSP is something that's truly meaningful, because it's receiving an honor from an institution that's made such a fundamental difference in my life. It's a difference that I'm ever more aware of and is ever more apparent as I grow old and develop in my personal and professional life. And I'm happy and proud to say that it's a difference that's being made to numbers of other SSP students and alumni. It's a difference that continues to this day, you know, and it's a difference made through the amazing team that I've often seen there at the SSP offices on weekends, you know, after hours. People who are really going the extra mile simply to make a difference in all of our lives as SSP students and alumni. So I receive this reward, but I receive it in honor of the amazing team that has really supported me and has been behind me and encouraged me throughout all of these years. And therefore my achievements are definitely in part due to the amazing sacrifices and the amazing things that this institution has done in my life. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. It seems that the camera makes me look slightly bigger than I do when I look in the mirror. So I promise I'm not that big. Just a very quick one. So I'm the former chairperson of the alumni board. We've passed that baton on, and the team is continuing with a fantastic job that they continue to do. So on my part, receiving an award like this reminds me of two things. Firstly, when you get a little bit older, I'm now closer to 30 than I am to 18. So when you receive that, you truly begin to realize that on a daily basis, the changes and the influence of all of those who supported you throughout the journey. You know, it comes through in your professionalism. It comes through in the effort that you put in. It comes through in how we engage with the people around us. And so I'd like to truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank all of you for the amazing contribution that you've made to my life and to the lives of countless other SSP alumni. The second thing that you realize, and it's something that I'm reminded of when I came through today, seeing so many familiar faces, former SSP students, alumni, and current students, that I'm truly inspired. I'm in such good company. People have really taken this opportunity with both hands, and we're doing wonderful work out there for ourselves, for our families, and for our country. And so the challenge for us and the big question for us as alumni and students is how will we pay it forward, and how we'll continue to take this great investment and plow it back. So truly what it means when you're investing in SSP and in us as students and alumni is actually the handing over of a baton, and it's truly our responsibility to make sure that we make a fundamental difference in our communities and our country at large. Thank you very much.
the next award, I'd like to call up Mabuza Mutswai, former mentee, as a matter of fact, of Louisa Mojela and SSP Alumni, to give out the next award. If you could, Mabuza Mutswai, please.
A very good evening to all of you this evening. My name is Mabato, and I'm absolutely inspired this evening. And Louisa, as I call her Aunt Louisa, has been a part of my life since 1999. And very quickly, without knowing me or necessarily, knowing what would become of me, took a chance on me. And it completely perplexed me that somebody who had accomplished so much, who was so certain of so many things, would decide to take a chance on somebody from Alexandra Township who didn't know what she wanted to be or where she would end up. And it's been an amazing 16-year journey. She's seen me through St. Stithians, she's seen me through Rhodes, and I'm currently working, and it's been an absolutely phenomenal journey. To be able to have her as my mentor. So, Aunt Louisa, I'm so inspired continuously by the work that you do, and I'm so grateful that you chose me, and I'm so inspired by the work that you continue to do to support myself, to support so many other amazing people who are going to go off to do amazing things. So it's a privilege for me this evening to be able to honor you with this award.
My name is Louisa Mojela. I am the founder and group chief executive director of Women Investment Portfolio Holdings. Up until now, when I was told by Teresa that this year is actually the 15th anniversary of SSP, and she would like to include or involve me as one of the recipients of the awards that the SSP will be giving out to people that they thought were outstanding. I'm quite excited receiving this award and being recognized, because I really feel that it is a responsibility of all of us South Africans, particularly those of us who can afford to assist those who do not have, and just make a difference to a young girl or a young boy to be given an opportunity to go to some of the best schools in the country.
Before Aunt Louisa accepts her award, there's a special message from Teresa Clarke that we'd like to play.
Congratulations to Louisa Mojela for receiving this award on behalf of SSP's 15th anniversary. It is my distinct pleasure to present this award to you, Louisa. You were there with us 15 years ago when we first founded SSP. We asked you if you would support a student in our first class, to provide funding for her education, and to be a mentor to her. Without hesitation, you agreed to do so. At that time, many of the emerging Black business leaders in South Africa were being called on to use their resources to support children from their communities, children in their family, the many children they knew who needed an opportunity for a good education. When we came to them as SSP, as an institution, many of them said no because they were already overcommitted and they couldn't justify supporting a child that they did not know. That did not happen when we asked you, Louisa. It's wonderful to see how the student you supported in our first year has gone on to receive a fabulous education at St. Stithians, a university education, and is now a successful investment banker. That's all because of what you did in our early year. Your leadership also provided a role model for others and helped us to secure other resources as we grew SSP through the years. You've been a wonderful friend to SSP. You've served on our board of patrons for 15 years. and you're most deserving of this award in honor of our 15th anniversary. My only regret is that I'm not there to share this with you in person. Congratulations to you, to your husband Sidi, and to all of your family who are here to celebrate with you tonight. Congratulations, Louisa.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mr. MC. And thank you, Teresa, for those kind words, even though you are not here with us this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, mine is a simple one, to urge all of us in this room to say there are so many needy children out there. Can we open up our purses and make sure that every time you go to Macro, instead of buying a blue label, you can pick up a child and support. And to all the ladies, every time you go to Sandton, instead of going to those beautiful shops there, just pause for a moment and say, if I can forgo this handbag today and channel this money that I'm about to spend to a child who is needy out there, I think we'll do much, much, much better. Actually, it's quite an embarrassment to us as South Africans that it took Teresa to come from the United States to come and establish SSP when we are here and we are all, many of us in this room, recipients of Black Economic Empowerment policy that has enabled many of us to be where we are. So can we really take a moment and commit that these 800 children, we really want to see the number grow to 80,000, 800,000, supported by us South Africans. Thank you.
One time I wish I was an octopus. Many hands for two beautiful ladies in red. Please give them a round of applause. These disadvantages come with age. I could do this earlier. Disadvantage of age. Now that we've all sat down and you've probably seen someone you want to give a business card to or grab one from, let's mingle a little bit. I'll be back to announce dinner and the next entertainment. So do speak amongst yourselves for just a few minutes.
Bang, 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 feel the killer laid and whiz on past. Miss my head, left turn, watch the crimson flow. Brother man on the floor, ching, 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 let the dollars go. 'Cause life ain't messing around no more. Stone cold when they knock me out in the black of night. I heard them shouting.